Hey guys, what's up? My name is Nick Hasso. I am the bass instructor here at Ayala High School and the Academy Drum and Bugle Corps. I've been teaching now for like 6 or 7 years, somewhere around in there. Marched 5 years at Drum Corps. My ending time being with the Phantom Regiment Drum and Bugle Corps. And I kind of want to make this video for my YouTube channel just to kind of teach you guys my philosophies on bass drumming and as to how to approach it, how to play it, how to do all those exciting things that we all love. So with that being said, just a disclaimer, the way I do things is not to, the way I describe things or the way I might say things, it's never to belittle any other way or technique of how to play bass drumming. I think the beauty of it is the diversity in everything that we do. I just have developed my methods and my techniques through my instructors and my years of marching, mainly pulling from my last couple years of instructors for sure, because I did do snare gig for a while until I switched to bass drum at Phantom. Either way, that being said, yeah, I hope this video is educational for you guys who may not know how to play bass drum at your high school programs or your junior high programs or maybe even at your college level programs. Hopefully this helps you guys out a little bit into maybe finding a technique or maybe answering some questions you may have technically about how to do what we do. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so up first, talk about how to stand behind the drum. For those of you in high school, if you have stands, you are lucky. When I was in high school, we didn't have stands, so we had to put them on like a picnic table or something to that sort, I forget. Either way, you want to make sure that you stand up square to the drum. You want to make sure that you're not turned in shoulder-wise anyway. You want to make sure you stand perfectly square. And what I typically do is I try and stand as square as I can, and then I just rotate the head. Yeah, so you're looking whatever way your instructors are going to be or wherever the center of the arc is going to be. And then your distance from the drum is dictated kind of by the length of your hooks, the hook onto the drum. Pearls are a little bit longer than most. Tamas are a little bit lower and longer than most. Yamaha's being a little bit closer with the Randall May setup in Mapex as well, and Dynasty obviously it's really close. So keep that in mind wherever your hooks may be, kind of set up standing wise, distance wise, in correlation to whatever your carrier or drum manufacturer is. That being said, that's exactly how you stand there. As to our set position, we like to make sure that our fulcrum's set just as if it was if we were playing the drum. It's just up here on the rim, and you put the back 3 fingers on, and you should feel the rim sit right inside this little gap right here in your hand. It's pretty much where the rim will sit, and that's exactly where you need to be. And we use this a lot of the time for fast turns. You can use your hands to kind of throw the drum in that new direction, wherever it may be. So getting into our playing position, I always like to start the members off down at their side, and I always ask them to roll their shoulders back so they stand a little bit taller, get their chest out, make sure their shoulders are relaxed. And you just want to go up to a perfectly parallel form. Yeah, make sure it's perfectly parallel with the ground, make sure it's nice and flat. And my angle, which you'll see, might be a little bit flatter than most people are used to. I tend to go for a really natural angle, and I try not to fight any natural muscle motion to cause any bad tendencies as far as muscle tendonitis and all that fun stuff. So yeah, I try and fight those as best I can. So yeah, that's the set position, side positions up here, playing position. And as you come out to the playing position, you want to make sure that you go straight to the center of the head. The angle doesn't change here. You'll see all I do is I just bring my forearms down, and that's it. Yeah, we don't want to go past center and come back up. I see a lot of people do that. The reason being is that there's too much tension in their shoulders and their deltoids when they come down, because they want to do it so quickly that they go past it. So, obviously you want to do it as quickly as you can, but in a relaxed manner where you actually get sent to center straight away. You don't go past anything like that. Talking about technique, prep motion, everything I teach is led from the fulcrum out. We don't lead from the mallet head out or from the wrist. Reason being, if we lead from the mallet out, the stroke would be all arm, and that's not what we want. We don't want to have any all arm, because there's going to be you could throw it in there, but the whole rebound and the upstroked aspect of it will be completely limited. And as far as the reason we don't use all wrist is because you never get the sound out that you're looking for using just wrist. It'll never be a full bodied high velocity sound, get really great articulation out of the head. It'll just be very tonal and just resonant, kind of. So that being said, we lead everything out from the fulcrum. Yeah, so we go from the fulcrum out. There's a slight rotation at the start because our thumbs have to be turned in. So if this is the head, this is your thumb. Well, let me mix this up. This is the head. Doesn't really matter. You want to turn in that thumb angle just a little bit to make sure. I don't know if I can show you on camera. You want to make sure you turn in that thumb angle just a little bit, so that way when you're at the resting position, your mallet head is right next to the head. If it's not, that prep motion is going to be a really weird pathway. It'll be pretty much, it'll be very down and out away this way from the drum. So we want to make sure we bring that thumb angle in just a little bit, and then as we break the wrist back or lead that fulcrum out, it will break that wrist back and it lets that back of the hand open up, just as if you were to play on a snare or tenors. There's a slight space right here. Yeah, but it leads from the fulcrum back out, and then once you get to your premium, or the maximum, I should say, wrist angle or wrist break, from there you incorporate the forearm and pull the elbow in and get that extra height to get you to vertical. Yeah, so that'll be your prep motion. Be slight elbow movement, and there's a slight rotation at the top to make sure that the pathway stays consistent. Cool. So talking about heights, people define heights in a number of ways. They do inches, they always do inches pretty much, but they talk about 3 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches, 9 inches, 12 inches, or 4, 8, 12, 16. There's a number of ways of defining how high the mallet should be from the head, and they kind of just dictate. I'll kind of show you from the side. 3 inches is pretty much from the set position, and as you go out, I like to use 4 inches for mezzo piano, 6 inches for mezzo forte, 9 inches for forte, and 12 inches for full forte. Yeah, so hopefully I don't peak out the audio way hard on that. I'm pretty sure I did. Either way, so that's how you define it. And I like to use different muscle groups to show off those different heights. So for 3 inches, it's going to look kind of rotation-y, but it'll be mainly from the wrist muscles and the back of the palm weight. That'll give us that 3-inch height that we're looking for. And there'll be the correct muscle groups to use in that. And I kind of just slice up my forearm to define the heights. 3 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches, 9 inches, and then 12 inches is full forearm muscle usage. And you can see that as I crescendo those heights. You'll see a little bit more of the forearm. Hopefully it's in shot. But you'll see that happen. And then when we get to full out 12 inches, I like to use the deltoid muscle group to initiate the downstroke. To get us an extra oomph at that top end, and it's only there to initiate the stroke. It's not there after that. It's there just to throw the mallet in like a gun going off really fast. After that, you just keep it really relaxed and let the weight of the arm go into the head. It's not to keep tense the entire time. We don't want to do this number because you're going to get a lot of tension in your shoulders, and it's going to cause a lot of extra muscle motion, and you don't want to stress yourself out. You want to be as lazy as you can be, because we are bass drummers, I guess. But yeah, so you want to make sure that you keep that nice and relaxed. Cool. And that being said, my version of the downstroke, I use a term called the marcato stroke, which purely means that I don't necessarily stop the mallet on the head or right next to the head. I let the mallet rebound back out after it strikes the head. And the reason being is that my back fingers are nice and relaxed on the mallet, and so when I strike the head, there's a natural rebound back out. And I just limit that from the back of the hand. I don't keep it closed, because if I do, I'm not going to get any of the natural resonant frequencies from the mallet or the head. Being that, the whole cliche, you choke the mallet off, you get this sound, you let it relax, you get that sound. So it's that rebound that I'm looking for. So if I were to play, I'll show you from the side again. If I were to play a marcato downstroke, you'll see the mallet rebound back out. Yeah, so you see that extra little whip in there. Yeah, the only reason why the mallet doesn't come back out to vertical is because I don't allow my wrist to break back out. That's the only reason why it doesn't come back out to whatever position I threw it in there with. If I, were to play a regular downstroke, which would look more like this, I stop all that motion, but it still gets a very choked off sound. Hopefully you can hear it on the tape. you get a lot more natural resonant frequencies from the mallet and the head, and allow everything to go into the head and not limit any of that motion. I like to think of a wrecking ball type thing. That's what I at least use as my example a lot of the times, is I use a wrecking ball. You know, they pull it up on the string and they just let it go, and it's really heavy and it takes the wall out or the building or whatever it's striking. And I use that analogy. I try to make my hand as heavy as I can to get as much velocity in, but it's all incredibly relaxed in here. Cool. So yeah, so those are the two strokes. You have the upstroke, and then you have the marcato stroke, and the variation of those two is what creates all of our vocabulary. So once you understand those two concepts, then you're able to move on to pretty much anything and everything, and just combining those ideas. Talking about diddles, which everyone knows is a bass drummer's worst nightmare, which it shouldn't be, because it's not really that bad. It's just like playing a snare drum. Yeah, you have the fulcrum, and I like to talk about how to space a diddle a lot. Give me 1 second. Okay, cool. Talk about how to space a diddle from the fulcrum, and I want to show you guys here really quick. Sorry, my finger's all jacked up. I cut off a piece of it. Let me show my other hand. Let me just show this hand. This is my good hand. Our fulcrum space, and what dictates a diddle space, is the space here between the hand and the actual mallet. Yeah, for big open rhythms, we all know to use the back of the hand to kind of help that motion. And the reason why we use the back of the hand is because we need a bigger space between those rhythms. We need a bigger space between the rhythms, so we get a bigger space between the hand. And as we get a faster rhythm, that's when we tighten up and move up to the front fulcrum. Yeah, because this space right here is much smaller, so you're able to create a tighter rhythm, and that's why we use the front fulcrum. When people say pinch, I need you to pinch in the diddle, the reason why is you're able to condense that space and not let that mallet rebound as much, so you create a tighter rhythm. Cool, so that kind of just helps dictate the double rhythm. So if you were to play a really open type rhythm, yeah, you'd use the back of the fingers. As comparison, when you play a tighter rhythm, you'd have that front fulcrum. Yeah, you'd use that for the faster rhythms. So yeah, so hopefully that kind of helps you guys understand fulcrum and how to use them in diddle type passages. So, and then lastly, actually I'll show you my hand. We talk about thumb angles, and everybody talks about wrist rotation or wrist break. I definitely like to use a knocking on the door type method, as comparison to a wrist rotation method. That's just a personal preference. People love either, both ways. They're both great in their own aspects. I just prefer the door knocking method. With that being said, can't even begin to tell you how many times you see bass drummers rocking the thumbs up. Yeah, bro, let's get this thing going. Look, and you can see how incredibly steep this angle is. Yeah, this is going to be really hard unless you're doing just a straight rotation method to keep a consistent pathway about it. And then I see some other groups that do the middle finger fulcrum, and they have the thumb in really far, and they have a really flat angle. Yeah, and that's cool too, but it doesn't get you the velocity and that full sound that you could actually get potentially out of the drum. So I like to find the in-between. I use the front fulcrum, yeah, and you can see the mallet placing kind of in my hand. It's not way up here, it's not way back here. It's kind of right underneath the meaty part, and I kind of use the 10 and 2 description to kind of help people just find that angle within their hand. And depending on your hand size, it'll change. Some people have smaller fingers, so they can't hold on as much. Some people have really big fingers and are able to hold on a lot. So kind of finding that happy ground for you as an individual is kind of what matters. So hopefully it helps you guys see the front fulcrum. And we don't want to, also just to add on, you don't want to see any gap in here. You don't want to see this. Yeah, you want to make sure your thumb is perfectly in line with the mallet. You see it's like a straight line right here going straight from my hand to my mallet. It's not out here. It's not over on the inside like this. It's just nice right there, right in the middle of the mallet. So make sure that you guys are working for that and to keep that consistent even on choppy passages. So that being said, this is my first ever educational video. So hopefully you guys appreciate this. Hopefully it's something you guys would like to see further. Maybe I can get some different guys on. I know quite a few people who could probably help out in this department. So with that being said, if you guys like to see more videos like this, please leave a comment below. and let me know if there's anything else that you would like to hear or have questions about. As far as bass drumming goes, I can absolutely answer all your questions to the best of my knowledge. And then as far as like tenors and snare go, I can obviously bring on people to help with this whole new vein of my channel. So hopefully you guys are liking all the new content with the tenor stuff that I'm doing. Obviously I'll be hopefully trying to get a few more educational videos out for you guys. And then the fall season is beginning, so look forward to seeing Chino Hills, RCC, Ayala, all those awesome on the West Coast ensembles, because we're all here. So yeah, so hopefully this has helped someone out. Yeah, let me know, subscribe, like, leave me a comment, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.